Boxing truth here. Does Deontay Wilder really have the balls to fight Luis Ortiz? I mean, really. I mean, just ask yourself that question. Think about it. This is a guy who hasn't really tried to fight any serious contenders in his pathetic reign as WBC heavyweight champion. This is a guy who had one of the most creative ducks in boxing history. Ducked the shit out of Povetkin. Was running scared back to Alabama, but even before the WBC canceled the Povetkin Wilder fight. This is a guy that cherry-picked 5 straight voluntaries in order to pad his record in his bullshit reign as WBC heavyweight champion. I'm sorry, but Boxing Truth is very skeptical about this report that Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz are actually in discussions. They're actually in negotiation, that the fight is in the works. There's already a date. There's already a venue. Now, when you look into it, it could be possible that the fight is in the works because there's a problematic situation with Bermane Stiverne, who is the mandatory to Wilder. The problem is that Showtime ain't interested in that fight. They're not going to spend a dime on that fight. So they have no television outlet to put this fight on. So it makes the fight very, very difficult to make if there's no television money involved. How are they going to get paid? How's anybody going to get paid off this fight? So Stiverne is luring. He's all lawyered up. He's bought the services of James Prince and Josh Dubin, guys that know the boxing business, and he's getting prepared for what's to come. And because Don King, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even want to go through with this fight because he ain't gonna get paid. There ain't no money in the fight. If Showtime ain't involved, what's the point in putting this fight on if you're Don King? He ain't gonna make a dime. And Stiverne most likely will lose. I mean, he hasn't done shit since he lost to Wilder. So King could be opting to take the step-aside fee, which is probably more significant than what Stiverne's purse would be for the actual fight. But you have to ask yourself, does Deontay Wilder really have the balls to fight Luis Ortiz willingly? I mean, he doesn't have to fight him. He's not the mandatory. He's a rated contender. But he's an opponent that Showtime is interested in and Showtime is willing to pay for. So Wilder is in a position now where he's no longer able to get free handouts. He's no longer able to get very soft voluntaries because this ain't 2015 no more. PBC is pretty much dead. They're getting trashed by a bunch of networks, thrown in the garbage. And Wilder's gonna have to fight some more stiff competition or more interesting opponents in order for Showtime, the only main provider for PBC now that pays for fights, in order to put these fights on and all the parties get paid. So Ortiz does fit that bill. He is an opponent that Showtime would definitely be interested in, would definitely drop some good license fee in order to make this fight. He definitely does fit the bill, but just makes me wonder, is Ortiz just being used as a name, being thrown out there in order to just distract the public, in order to distract the boxing public on who Wilder is actually really going to fight? I just had to believe it to see it. Boxing Truth ain't convinced. Wilder has not displayed the type of behavior that shows this type of bravery of actually willingly stepping to this guy in Luis Ortiz and willing to fight him. It doesn't make sense. I mean, Wilder's willing to fight this guy for not even half the money for a more proposed, easier opponent than Dylan White. The difference is Wilder doesn't have to travel, so he gets to fight in his own comfort zone, but might make much less money compared to what he would have gotten against Dylan White. I'm not mad at the fight. If it does go down, it's a fight I'm actually interested in. A Wilder fight I'm actually interested in. It's a dangerous fight. It's a fight that Wilder could definitely get chin-checked, and his reign will come to an end. Ortiz can definitely knock the fuck out of Deontay Wilder, which makes me very skeptical of this fight actually going down. In the end, there's another opponent in the WBC rankings that I feel also fits that bill for Wilder, because he needs a more interesting opponent for Showtime to pay a license fee. And that opponent is Dominic Breazeale. He's rated number 9 by WBC. There's a little storyline between Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. It's a fight I think Showtime also will be interested in and also be willing to pay for, since there is drama between the two fighters. And it's a fight I actually think Breazeale actually has a decent chance in. Breazeale's been in some real fights. He actually willingly fought Amir Mansour, a guy Wilder would never willingly fight. I'm just very skeptical. I just don't believe Wilder has enough balls to just willingly fight Luis Ortiz if he doesn't have to. But if he does, credit to him. No one can hate on him if he takes this fight willingly when he doesn't have to. He'll prove to me that he's got some balls if he does take this fight. And he will finally have a legitimate title defense to look forward to if he takes this fight. But in the end, I actually think Dominic Breazeale may be the actual opponent. We'll just have to wait and see. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.